Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, our first presentation, the Mount Carmel Club by Mike Picard.
They're out in the lobby.
Well, let's invite them in. It's a public meeting, they're invited to stay for the
I guess they didn't
entire
know.
thing. Thanks, Rick.
Aaron's out there also. I think she's second. Aaron Mabry.
Oh, right, to the next one, yeah, invite her in.
Not yet. All right, where are we at? Over there?
Yeah, where do we want them?
There, or shoes against the wall.
Hello, everybody. Can we sit here? Can we sit with the...
Sure, absolutely. You may sit there.
All right. Place looks great. Got time, huh? It didn't take too long. Are we up? Am I up first?
Yep, so you are, sir.
First on the agenda for tonight.
Okay, so, my name's Mike Picard. This is Mike Vernaccio. I'm the president of the club. Mike is the president of the Lodge Society. I'm a fourth-generation member, fourth-generation president of the club. And I also live in the township. That's a plus, too. You'll love that. We're a thriving club with over 500 members. And it gets better, and we're getting a lot more. We have a senior league during the day. And what we were planning on doing with the back property, I was talking with a Matthew Edmonds. Does that sound familiar? He was with the county. Guess when they were doing the back road there. And he was, we had talked to him. He's like, no, I don't see it as a problem. We'll probably lease it to you or whatever we could do. And then when he said it got turned over to the township, I said, okay, now who do we talk to? So it's been a little process. This is, I don't know if you have pictures, but this is our property here. And it's not a big area. I don't know if you want to press that around. Okay. This is what we look at. And we've cut trees down. We've had to maintain that. We just recently put out like $3,000 to have a lot of the trees taken care of because they're falling, on our property and just keeping it. Yeah.
Thank you, we're just trying to, getting the visual. Thank you. Our resident bocce player's explaining the,
What it looks like,
Yeah, so, and I guess with Nick Tanya, it's a fun family place. Young and old, we have fabulous kitchen, people come day, night. Our seniors, we weren't going to have them one year because we didn't have enough people. And the bar, we don't open it for them at 10 o'clock in the morning. They were ready to write to the Times Herald. So we're like, okay, we're going to have the senior leagues. We took care of them, But that's basically, we're just want to know if we could do that to do outside bocce. People love it. They said they will come. They love the camaraderie of everybody. And that's our pitch. That's what we have.
Is the tree line basically the edge of your property?
Yes.
Okay, so you're looking for basically what this
Yeah, just to
triangle
move
area
back a little bit more, just to give us a little more room. Take those trees down because, like I said, they've been a nuisance. The branches falling, and like I said, we just recently put out $3,000 to have them all cut back.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I was just going to ask, is your hope or your ask to buy or lease or use or borrow?
The cheapest way we can get it. Whatever. It doesn't, we want to do the bocce courts. Now, I know we probably have to go over how the conservation, the ground works, and if we can.
Have water test.
Yeah, the water, and I know, Ricky, you know more about that too, but that's where we want to go, if we can.
What timeline are you hopeful this would move?
There really isn't. We're not, the sooner the better. It seems like it's been 2.5 years now. I've been with the county, with Mr. Emmons, and I think it was another, what was his name down here? Muhammad or something like his name was. with the state, and then you're the third party now that we're dealing with. So, but like I said, it's not like say we want it for next year. Just know if we have it, then we can move forward, take our time with it.
I apologize if this was. How would you propose to use the property?
Outside bocce courts. Holy Savior down the street has outside CBC, Cunchy, Norristown, East Norton. And I'm telling you, when we first, this is our 13th or 14th year with indoor courts. And everybody was saying, why don't you do outside? I'm like, we're fine. We don't want to step on anybody's toes. We're fine where we're at. Everybody says now, you'll take over, because everybody loves, Nick, he'll be the first one.
Yeah.
It's just a good feel. We're a good fun club. you
And
know.
it helps that in the winter, everywhere else is closed. Every other league comes to play at Mount Carmel.
Yeah.
So everybody knows how Mount Carmel runs their courts, and they run them very, very well. So, and outdoor opens at Mount Carmel, that's a lot of bocce coming into.
Yep.
As far as,
What's the amount of either blacktop disturbance or earth disturbance? The square footage?
Well, our courts inside, we'll probably keep it at like 60 feet. We don't want to go any less than that. So, and if we do, we'd like to do 2 courts. So they're 60 by 12.
Okay, so you're way under any,
Yeah, there's no.
yeah.
Yeah.
Minimus amount of earth disturbance or disturbance of the blacktop.
Right. And our leagues usually are 6:30 and 8 o'clock. So they're usually done by a certain time. Now, I don't know if there's a noise ordinance, if that's going to go that way now too. I don't know if that's an issue with time, being outside. I don't know if that's an issue at all.
it's usually 2 hours,
Properties nearby?
2-hour league.
Behind us, there are a couple houses on the back.
In fact,
Right, like Bashki, Danny Bleeker's.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
like
a
we saw
couple, like 2 houses right there,
there, at the edge.
2 or 3 houses. So,
I would ask Karen, do you know what zoning
I
is,
know where
Lonnie?
you're gonna go. And that's my next thing.
No idea.
Okay, Rick.
Rick, is it open space zoning right now?
So we maintain it, I don't know what it's zoned. I mean, we maintain both sides of the highway, and all we do is mow the grass right now, pick up the trash. But I guess I was just gonna ask, like, here, would we have access, because I don't know exactly where the property line is, but would we have access to get, if you guys are gonna mow or maintain the area that you get, would we have access to get back here along that?
So I talked to Brad Burns, maybe it is. I asked him, I said, do you get back there that way? He said, no.
Okay.
But I don't know how he doesn't. It doesn't make sense. I know this is hard for everybody to look at. We would leave, like where the wall is, we'll leave an area if you have to get back there, and we can discuss that.
That's no problem.
You know.
Leave that out.
Yeah.
So we maintain that, we mow that right away along Lafayette Street on both sides. So I guess we would just want to make sure that we can get down towards Ross Street, because you can't get there from the other side.
Exactly.
If there is
Do you know how
a
much it costs
sale, it
us?
would be an easement.
To mow it?
I believe it's somewhere around $1,750 per cut. And we only usually mow it probably 4 or 5 times a year. It's just kind of flail mowed. It's not maintained as lawn or anything like that.
I mean, there's kids' dirt bike back there. They have bikes riding back there now. I don't know where they're coming from, but.
At least put an easeway, that's no problem. Just
Yeah.
easeway. And plus, if we do get it, we'll take care of that lawn, same time.
You mean the?
I'm sorry, could you say that again?
You mean the spaces that Rick is thinking we'd have to mow that are to the sides, you're saying you would take those
Yeah,
as well?
That's part of it.
Strip behind?
That's part of what we're looking for, yes. So we'll take care of that, so.
Oh. $1,800 4 times a year?
Well,
That's the next meeting.
That's what we pay to mow the entire, from, I guess it's Diamond Avenue or Conshohocken Road all the way down to the Norristown Plymouth border. I don't know if they're talking about just a
Just that
spot
section,
behind that.
exactly.
There's a sound barrier.
Yeah.
It's a section behind that.
Okay, and then I was wondering about lighting, because, this time of year, 8 o'clock, it's already dark. Will there be, would lighting affect the couple of houses that are there?
Yeah. I don't think it would. We would make sure it wouldn't. I mean, if we do something, we would like to have it under cover also, like a pavilion
Right,
set up,
The lights
so,
will be under the pavilion.
yeah.
sure.
Yeah, it wouldn't be like a football field, with
No.
the highlights,
Similar
Contained.
to Holy Savior's setup. Holy Savior's bocce court, it's just a pavilion on top with the lights
Right.
straight down onto the courts. So
Yeah.
it's not like they're shining off.
I've seen the ones in Conshohocken and the ones in Norristown down near the Elmer
Yeah.
Park Zoo.
Won't be like those with the spires that kind of, like baseball park,
Right.
not like that.
Do you have any parking considerations for this expansion?
No, our parking will handle that. I mean, we wouldn't have to,
Create new parking anyway?
right.
So how far did you get with Mr. Edwards at the county?
They were great. I thought they were going to be really tough. I had multiple conversations with him, and he was like, sure, we just have to make sure that the state, that they weren't going to clip our corner with the road coming in with the turnpike. And they said, no, we clear you. You're fine. And he says, yeah, because when we get to the end, we'll talk about leasing it, or it made it sound like it was a no-brainer at that time, so.
That's the gentleman we had dealing with the Turnpike Road coming through. They fell through.
Yep. So, yeah. At one time, when the turnpike was going to take our whole parking lot, they weren't going to leave us a strip by it, and we fought that. We're like, we got 200, we could, put 200 people in here, you're going to give us 16 spots. And then they moved it down, I guess, down the street. But, That's
The
it.
slip ramp?
yes,
going
that's,
in?
yeah, the slip ramp, yep. That was it.
It's going right into Ridge.
Exploring, what do y'all think? Outdoor recreation, social interaction? I mean, it all sounds, I think we should explore it more and see what
That's fine.
possibilities
fine.
are.
Yeah, I
How
mean,
we do it and.
We have a good reputation. I mean, we don't take no crap in the building. I mean, our lodge members, something happens, you get thrown out too, 30 days. Like, so it's a fun, I mean, Nick will tell you, 21 to 80-year-old people playing bocce together. It's a fun, and when we have food left over, we always feed the police. We drop it all off at the front there, so we keep it coming. There you go.
I know your pork sandwich sales are to die for.
Yes.
I'm always there.
There
for
you go.
those.
All our bocce members have to be a social member of the club itself.
Right. Yeah, we just don't let anybody.
Yeah, that gives us the authority, could you say, to say, hey, you don't come back in here no more.
Right.
Once they
And you can't
misbehave.
get in if you're not
Yeah.
a member. If you're not a member, you have to be a guest of a member and sign in book and.
That's why we have 500.
Sounds like a good use of space.
It does. It does. I think we should explore it further.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right. You want to hang on? Do you want anybody to need these, or you just want to keep these?
Yeah, I would take them. Thank you. Yep. Well, honey, I'm gonna give
Anything
them to
else,
you
Mike
for
and Mike?
That's it.
coming up with a
Short and
sketch
sweet,
plan.
that's his best.
You want him to stay for the whole meeting? Or go home?
Nah, we're good.
Watch it?
Enough meetings.
This meeting is open to the public, so you're welcome to
Okay,
stay.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you both for coming in.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for
All right. Thank you.
Good to see you.
Okay, next we have a presentation by Central Montgomery Technical High School.
I can email it to you, or we can just go with the paper if that's easier.
I don't have anything to
All right, that's fine.
put that up.
We're prepared for that, too.
Hi, Karen.
Hello, I'm Karen Mabry. I work with Central Montco Technical High School. I'm sorry. This is Dr. Angela King. She's our executive director. Somehow she appointed me to give this presentation. So. If you don't know me, I'm retired police. I retired from Plymouth Township Police Department in 2019, and from there, I kind of bumped over to the high school. And I have to say that I love it. I love retirement. Sorry, Chief. And,
I'm not going to give you my whole CV, but part of my career, and the chief knows this, I spent 10 years in the Highway Patrol Unit. So I dealt with traffic. Got over to the high, started there, and then COVID hit. And then it wasn't my fault that COVID hit. But I started and school shut down. We came back and I noticed some stuff that causes us to be here today.
Here,
There we go.
Thank you.
save her some walking.
There you go.
Get her some.
Okay. So, we're here today because we're asking for a 15 mile per hour designation for the school. We do not have one. We are the only school in the district that does not have a 15 mile per hour school zone designation. So I'm just going to kind of go through this real quick. The history, back in 2005, flashing yellow lights were installed by Plymouth Township to assist with pedestrians. So if you go out onto Plymouth Road or New Hope Street, you'll see yellow flashing lights that come on during our arrival and departure times. We have 2 sessions, AM, PM. So from 7 to 8 a.m., the AM session kids come in and then they dismiss between 10 and 10:20. PM session comes in from 11 to 12 and they dismiss 2:15 and 2:20. So the lights coincide with that. The hours of activation were based on the arrival times and the dismissals. Back in the day, students would spend the whole day there. So pedestrians weren't really a thing because they were bused from their schools into our school and then they were bused wherever they were going. But then that changed for the high school where they went from all day to AM, PM sessions. 5-year trend that we noticed, COVID shut down 2020 March. When we came back in 2020, 2021, we had what were called cohort days. So basically, each school district, in order to not co-contaminate school districts with COVID, each district would have their own day at the school so that we could keep kids in school. And I think that was a lot, Dr. King did a lot of that to keep the kids in school. So when they weren't going to the high, they were still coming to us. Those kids were bused. Transportation-wise, it was complicated. So what parents started doing was just transporting their own kids. Our parent drop-off line would go all the way down to Plymouth Road and then up Plymouth Road. As COVID started to wane, for lack of a better term, we returned back to what we would call a regular school day in 21-22. Kids weren't really riding the buses. Still a lot of parents dropping off. We noticed an increase of walkers and kids riding bikes. We had a kid who rode his bike from the Norristown Area High School to Tech every single day because he didn't want to ride the bus. And we saw a lot of that. 2022, 2023, ridership on the buses resumed kind of almost to the pre-COVID levels, but again, we saw a reduction of kids being transported by their parents, but we saw an increase of kids driving to school as well as an increase in kids walking. Bicycle riders kind of went away. I think we only had 1 or 2 at that point. 23, 24 last year kind of trended the same way, again seeing increases in student drivers and walkers. And then this year pretty much the same. If you flip over into where the pictures are in your PowerPoint, this is kind of what we see every day. Kids just cross the street anywhere. There are ped lights and crosswalks at New Hope and Plymouth Road. These are high school kids, and let's be real about that. Sometimes they don't make the best decisions, or, oh, I'm going to cross here because my parent is waiting to pick me up across the street on the road, so I'm going to mid-block cross. And we watch this every single day. I can also tell you that we have conversations with those students and try to redirect them to use the proper crossings, but we don't have enough staff to talk to every kid that crosses the street. If you keep flipping through the packet, you'll see what I mean with the pictures. These are just not all of our walkers. These are some of our walkers.
Looking at Plymouth Road or New Hope? This is New Hope.
That's New Hope. The church is right across the street, yes. And that's, the bigger problem would be New Hope Street. We'll get to that. On page 4, slide 8, you'll see our buses exit onto New Hope Street. All the buses, all the cars, all the traffic exit one driveway. We did that to mitigate the problems that we were having in the parking lot with cars heading at each other and buses. So all the traffic was streamlined during COVID to keep everybody moving one direction. And actually, we found that reduced crashes in our parking lot and the safety for the students because everybody was going one way. On slide 8.
Parent center.
Say again?
What road do parent drivers and student drivers enter from?
So everybody comes in off Plymouth Road. Everybody comes
Buses
in.
and
Buses, all vehicular traffic come in off of Plymouth Road. We have a bus lane and a drop-off lane. They're dropped off at door 2. They exit the property by going down the driveway onto New Hope Street. And you can see, like I said, slide 8, you can see the buses turning onto New Hope Street, and you can see the dump truck. There's a lot of commercial traffic. There's a lot of stuff going on there. Page 9 or slide 9, that's what New Hope and Plymouth looks like, with the buses turning left, trying to go back towards PW. We have buses going straight back into Norristown, buses turning right, going back towards Upper Marion.
This is at the intersection of New Hope
New
and
Hope,
Plymouth?
Plymouth, yes.
And that's a controlled intersection with traffic light?
Correct. Traffic light and pedestrian signals,
Oh, okay.
pedestrian activated signals. Some of the considerations, this is some of the stuff that was brought up to us. We've been working with PennDOT, or we've asked PennDOT, we've been working with the chief, and we've been working with Chris Lociavo. Some of the questions that were asked of us is why don't the students ride the buses? Buses are provided, why aren't they riding them? Social anxiety is our number one reason. Kids don't want to be on the buses for whatever reason. It stresses them out. They're too crowded. Their friends aren't on them. They just don't want to be on the bus. Bus routes aren't near where they need to go. We have kids that leave the school that go to work, or we have kids that might be homeschooled or go to work and then come to us. So the buses aren't near where they need to go, so they walk. Delays in bus arrivals, or a bus is a no-show. That's not an exception. That is pretty common. And that's, Dr. King, would you agree that that's school-wide for all the
All
districts?
3 districts, Colonial, Upper Marion, and Norristown.
We don't serve food at the tech. They're not provided lunch. They're provided lunch at their home schools. Some kids like to stop and actually get something to eat. Food insecurity is something that's very real for some of our students. Not of our students are housed. Some of our students are homeless. So again, this might be a student who doesn't want anybody to know that they're riding in a small vehicle or a van coming from some other place, and they will walk from across the street to the school so that they don't stand out.
So the other schools have free lunch programs, don't they, or no?
Yes.
Does
Yeah.
the tech school offer free lunch?
Dr. King?
Well, the sending schools provide lunch for them. We cannot offer a free breakfast as the state has it because they already provide lunch. So we do not have a lunch program or a breakfast program for that matter at the tech school.
It isn't for lack of trying.
It's
It
not
just
fair.
doesn't seem fair. I'm seriously.
I've been fighting it for quite some time. Yeah, it's not fair. It's all about counting who's eating where. and who's getting the reimbursement.
The other one was student drivers and who don't park on campus. There are students who choose to park elsewhere and walk. We cannot compel them to park on our school property.
Do you know why they do that? I mean, is there adequate parking? I would assume.
Oh, there's plenty of parking.
Right?
Yeah, some of them say that they don't want to be stuck in the traffic trying to get out because you saw that picture. Some kids aren't confident drivers and they don't want to wait either. They want to be able to walk to their car, get in it, and go wherever they're going. The other one was they wanted to go across the street and get food before they went home. So instead of driving, they park at the 7-Eleven. They'll walk across the street, get their food, get in their car, and then go.
Down there where it changes its name to Johnson?
Yeah.
The little strip mall?
Yep, right in there. Or the pizza shop.
Please.
And the other one was some of their parents tell them not to. I literally had a parent tell their child not to park on school property. And I asked why, and the parent said it was none of my business. And the child would not park on the school property, so we get that. Again, it's not for lack of trying to address it with them and encourage them to park, because then we can see who they're with, where they're going, and they're making sure that they're doing it safely. They don't, and we cannot make them. So that is that. I took a quick look at the PennDOT regulations regarding school zone.
Are these both state roads?
One is state and one is local. I believe Plymouth Road is a state road.
That's correct.
New Hope Street is a township-owned road.
On both sides?
Yes, we own the whole road.
PennDOT does not require a reason for the students walking, it's just a count of the students who walk. Kind of hit on this at the beginning, we're the only school in the district that does not have a 15-mile-an-hour school zone designation. The posted speed limit on Plymouth Road is 35, 25 on New Hope Street. I'd like to thank Chief Mircea because they put a traffic counter up on New Hope Street and ran a traffic study for us, and he was able to give me these numbers this morning. From September 30th to October 7th, the 85th percentile speed on that roadway is 39 miles per hour. 39 miles per hour. A total of 29,345 vehicles traveled on that roadway during that time period, with 27,418 vehicles exceeding the posted 25-mile-an-hour speed limit.
I want to know who's going over 65 miles an hour.
I could tell you we've seen it during school hours.
Which one is, which one's New Hope and which one's Plymouth?
So New
Both
Hope,
the longer stretch.
right.
Yeah.
The road where St. Paul sits on, the nursing home.
Only did.
Oh, we only did New Hope.
Oh, this is only New Hope.
This is only New Hope Street.
Okay.
Because Plymouth Road, they're coming right into the traffic signal. So if they're clocking out at 65 miles an hour or excessive, we'll find them somewhere way, way down at, we'll find them at the Kennedy Old High School there when they launch. We originally made a request to PennDOT asking them for a review for a 15-mile-an-hour school zone, and they referred it back to the township. They said that Plymouth Township must submit the required forms and application to them for review, and we're requesting that paperwork be submitted to PennDOT so we can be considered for a designated 15-mile-an-hour school zone. Slide 12, you can see what PennDOT's response was, basically saying that the signals are owned and maintained by the municipality with PennDOT acting as the permitting agency. And any change would have to start with a request from Plymouth Township, and they would need to fill out this school zone study form, the TE-112, which I actually have filled out partially with what we needed to fill out, as well as a TE-160. And I would imagine that requires an engineering and a traffic study.
It usually does. In a
You're saying, yeah.
resolution.
Yes.
So do school districts have any say in this? This school services 3 school districts, correct?
That's correct.
Norristown, Colonial, and
Upper Marion.
Upper Marion. So what's the role of the school district in these decisions?
Well, since they barely want to pay us for anything, they do not really have a role in this decision. We have a JOC that has 2 to 3 of their board members on our board, so our board would have to discuss that. But as far as a role that the districts play, we are an individual school beyond those districts. We just like an extension of a separate school just for their technical studies, not for their
So
academics.
construction and engineering cost all fall on Plymouth? And none of the school districts would contribute, or would they contribute to the cost, do you know?
Well, I can tell you, we don't have any money allocated for costs like that. That's something that would have to go to the districts, to our JOC.
Yeah, but I'm wondering, do the school districts contribute to the cost of?
The school?
School district,
Yes.
Colonial, Upper Marion, and Norristown.
Do they do what?
Would they contribute funds to pay for engineering, permitting, and construction? Just wondering where the, fiscal burden would fall.
That's a good question.
Would it be shared? Would it be?
They would probably argue that we don't own anything in the lights or anything like that, so they're not going to pay
I could
for
tell you by-
anything like that.
By history, typically they're paid for by whoever is putting, whoever needs the lights, and then it's turned back over to the township for maintenance and ownership. That's how it usually is. And Lonnie, you would probably agree with that.
Yes, that's how it works.
Yeah, so a traffic signal or some kind of lights would go up, paid for by not the township, and then turned back over to the township for ownership and maintenance.
Yeah, but what do you do with, we have existing flashing lights, so the infrastructure's already there. There's already a signal permit for that light. So that already exists. It's just a change in permit. So how does that, when we dealt with PennDOT said, have the township fill out the form and send it back to us. You guys sign off on it. I don't know what elements they would require other than,
Is the infrastructure set up to convert from 25 to 15, or do you have to do something to the existing infrastructure?
well, I can't say because we don't maintain or own that infrastructure, but
It
it's
looks
there.
like
It
it
does?
looks like you just need the equipment, the 15-mile-an-hour heads.
Yeah, so it's
And it
just
would be, yeah.
switching out one
It is,
speed
because there's
limit to
wigwags
another.
right now.
Right, just switching
And
out
take
one.
them off and then be able to hang
Okay.
the 15-mile-an-hour.
So that's
it's basically
a
just buying
substantial
equipment.
savings right
Right,
there.
So most of the infrastructure exists.
It
exists.
It's just a
is,
swap
yeah.
out of.
It's just-
Yeah, the expense is, digging footers and the poles themselves
And
and
the
equipment.
electric.
Right.
So that's,
exactly.
but that's already in
That's
place.
already in place.
So then- Yeah, so this doesn't sound like it's, it's just a matter of maybe amending a permit.
Right.
And then-
So-
What would the distance of the 15-mile, you're looking for it on both New Hope and Plymouth Road, correct?
Yeah, or wherever PennDOT says, no, you can only have it from here to here, but the infrastructure is already there. They've already indicated that this is a school zone
Okay.
with their flashing lights,
Right.
so that's already delineated. It's just designating that 15 miles an hour during our arrival and departures. The lights are already programmed on the warrant to flash at those times. It's just getting the signal warrant amended for a 15 mile an hour
Okay,
speed
and
zone.
then, because I don't know anything about this, so excuse my ignorance. Are there, regulations or whatever as to how many feet, what distance a school zone can be from the actual campus entrances? And if there is, would that coincide with where the pedestrian signals currently flash?
Yes, so the one signal is near the nursing home, and that's at the end of our driveway. The other thing you have to remember also is Colonial redid the middle school. All of their buses dump out on a roadway adjacent to our driveway. So at the same time, we're trying to get out, Colonial School District has buses trying to get into the middle school. But one signal head is, would that be south
On New Hope,
on New Hope?
they're about a quarter mile apart,
Yeah.
about 1,500 feet.
Again, PennDOT approved. PennDOT had to approve that warrant to put that stuff in. The only thing that we're looking for is having that 15 mile an hour designation, just to slow the traffic down, so the kids who are crossing can get out and get out safely, and even the buses, and their turning movements. So on the last page, I saw this in Norristown on New Hope Street the other day. And I communicated with the chief. There is a sign. It does not flash. It's a static sign that indicates that it's a 15 mile an hour school zone with time panel underneath. And then the traditional 15 mile an hour flashing sign. So I don't know if that's, first off, I asked the chief, I didn't know if this was PennDOT approved, and if it is it enforceable for them if they decide to come down and run speed checks during the school zones?
I don't think it is. I'm still trying to find out.
Yeah, it's something that
I've never
we.
seen a sign that says on 5 days a week, different times during the day, you have to change your speed. You couldn't even read the sign if you're going 25, 35 miles an hour to figure out. I don't know that that's legitimate. That might be just like something back in the day, I think Conshohocken, we might even have done it, where we just put a stop sign out in the road until PennDOT saw it. And they said, this doesn't belong there, and they took it out. I heard that. I can't.
Oh, right.
Allegedly.
So I don't know that that's legitimate, but I'm trying to find out. I've never seen something like that, though.
Well, I mean, I agree with you, unless, I mean, the school zones that I've come upon, a lot, like Plymouth Road at the elementary school there, it's flashing when you have to slow. So I don't have to worry about when the kids come to school at Plymouth Elementary and when are they going home. The flashing light tells me I gotta go 15. If it's flashing, yeah. So.
Chief, if I might ask, I'm wondering if you have an opinion about the topic.
Honestly, anything that keeps anybody safe when it involves kids. I mean, when you guys came in, I was on the phone for a 5-year-old who just got hit by a car on Mill Creek. So when you're talking about kids and you're talking about a school, I think any of us would be hard pressed to say, you know, it's not necessary. And I don't think anybody's saying that. We're just trying to figure out how it the best be done. The study that I gave, the one thing that I noted that's problematic, you know, Karen was saying that those people that went over 25 miles an hour, but that could be 26, that could be 27, that's not significant. What is significant is you can start citing people for speeding at 11 miles over the speed limit. So that's at 36 miles an hour and beyond. 11,000 plus cars were going 36 and above, and that's 37%. So more than a third of all those cars are going significantly fast. And the problem is that they have people coming in and out of school 3 times a day, right? Because you have half days there. So we have morning, we have afternoon, and then we have late afternoon. So it increases the times that there's kids walking, and I've had my traffic unit out there also, and we've seen the kids. I see them at the 7-Eleven getting something to eat. I see them crossing. And when it comes down to them, I mean, they're kids. Kids are kids. So, you know, we have reached out to some people, Higgins Electric, where they think that these might just be slight changes to a permit because the infrastructure is there and the wires are run. We haven't pursued it too much from that point because, again, I guess we're not sure the direction that everybody wants to go in.
Well, Plymouth Whitemarsh High School has a school zone in the middle of Germantown Pike. That's a pretty major road, and people have to slow down to 15. And the high school kids are coming in the morning and leaving in the afternoon.
And that was also, I think they had it before, but it was, they enhanced it due to a student being killed there also. So again, I hate to wait for something like that, and it did, I was always curious why this is the only school I've ever seen that doesn't have a school zone. It even has a sign that says, end school zone, and I keep thinking, what do you mean end school zone? When did it start? There's nothing there that tells you have to slow down.
Yeah.
So I think it's an issue that we probably at least should pursue together to see how we can make that safer. We do have our traffic unit out there, not enough, I'm ready to say, I just can't get it anymore. East Norton is out there because that's one of the roads that they hit quite a bit. I don't know that it's ever quite enough, considering that there's kids and there's all those buses.
Yeah. Okay. What do you all think? Yeah, I don't want to wait for a traffic.
No.
We'll look into it then.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Lieutenant Mabry?
Thank you, appreciate your time.
Did you get a copy of this?
Thank you.
Okay, we will be doing a 30 years of service resolution for Linda Winkle. Can I take that one? Yes. All right, we will need to do, under administration, we will have some announcements of date changes and meetings. There's the regular meeting change of date. Anyone want to take that one? Maybe. Okay. Do you also want to take the budget ones?
Yeah.
I mean, just keep talking?
Yeah.
Maybe you can see like A, B, and C are all meeting and out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do
Are you
that.
okay? A, B, and C?
Absolutely.
Thank you. All right, we will have the pension fund allocation, and that will be something that we will vote on. All right, Lynn will take that one. Okay, an announcement, Kristen or Lynn, about your communication survey. You're both right on the
Oh, yeah,
subcommittee.
I can do it.
You want to do that, Kristen?
Sure.
Thank you. And then we have change orders from WinGap that we will need to vote on approval. Anyone want to take the WinGap change orders? Thank you, Matt.
You're gonna read out all those numbers, right?
I know, is that a summary?
I think you can summarize those.
The front page
Yes.
Okay.
summary, I think, is all we're gonna need, right? We'll go over it next week.
A summary is sufficient.
Yeah.
Is there anything to add, Rick, on that, or?
No, I mean, you probably see the dates, they're written a long time ago, just, put in front of Karen and I, so. But Karen and I went over all of them, and there was a few more that didn't make your list, but they're all justified.
Okay, thank you. And then we have, who can pronounce semi-quincentennial? He wants to do the resolution. You want to take that because you've been practicing that word?
It's not a hard word. It's also very exciting.
It's a great word. 250. Helen, is there anything else under administration for the workshop tonight?
Do we take out the Cunningtown sidewalk?
That's all.
Okay. No, we're good.
Moving on to the police and public safety. All right. We have we're going to take action on the police pension contribution resolution. Who wants to do that one? Okay. We have final consideration for our emergency police and fire alarm ordinance, final consideration.
It's an ordinance, so I'll handle it.
So, okay.
I have a question about that, though. I thought that we wanted to separate police and fire on this. And they don't seem to be separated, because I know, Chief, you had said you wanted to make it easier for people, like not have fines. Even if my toddler keeps accidentally opening the door and setting off the alarm, you were okay with the police being notified first, the alarm going off, like no fines. This actually says, if it happens enough, we're still gonna fine you. And it also says the same is true for fire, and I thought we wanted to separate them, like not have fines if the police were called. Make sure if people continue to have faulty alarms or false alarms for fire, that we did have fines in place. But it doesn't look like we've separated the two.
Are the fire alarms and burglar alarms generally the same ones, or are they separate alarm systems? Does anybody know?
I believe it's a separate alarm system, and we have two different sets of problems. The fire companies, the reasons that they even wanted to separate it between a home that got called as opposed to a business, because the businesses, ironically, apparently have so much money that they don't address the problem. We've had businesses that have given us checks in one shot for $30,000, but they won't fix their problem so that the alarm won't keep going off. So their corporations just seem to, the big ones, I forget what it was, Best Buy or Target? Best Buy, $30,000 in one shot, which is crazy.
Fix it?
Yes, you would think so, but I guess maybe the red tape that just gets lost in there, and nobody even challenged it or asked us, hey, could we do something? Which I would have said, absolutely, that's crazy money. But it's two different things, and that's what the fire company has the issue with. Fix your alarm, because we still have to get out of bed. We still have to run those trucks down there. So,
Well, they're volunteers, so they're not.
and they're volunteers, they're not out there anyway, so
Totally
it's
away.
different. And I thought we had addressed all that. I mean, I'll look at my stuff and I can give Alex a call tomorrow just to be sure, but that was part of the proposal that,
That's what I thought started the whole thing, actually, and then the ESB said, well, as long as we're looking at that, why don't we just look at the whole ordinance? But that's what started the whole review.
right.
So I just wanted to be sure that we were in sync on that, but that was my recollection, that we wanted to be particularly gentle with police alarms, crime alarms, and residents, but not lighten up on businesses and fire alarms.
I didn't
And
want
even
to,
fire alarms and residences. Because
Right.
we have volunteers who are getting out of bed, they've got day jobs
Yeah.
going on as
Rushing to the
well.
firehouse, jumping in a fire truck is a much different scenario than officers who are already on patrol, likely close by to begin with, who it's
and
not-
residents who tell or their alarm company, call me first, even if I'm on vacation, because they're afraid to get fined for the burglary. And that's not what we want.
Right.
We'd rather go there multiple times for nothing than have somebody breaking in and get the call.
So, Alex, can you take a look at that, and maybe we won't be doing final consideration if they're not separated?
Sure, I can touch base with
But I
the
think
chief
we may
tomorrow.
have to advertise, I don't know, that may be a substantial amendment to require re-advertising.
Yeah, sorry to throw a wrench in the works, but I just wanted to make sure we did what we actually set out to do at the get-go.
Understood.
So in other words, Alex, residential will be treated just like anybody else when it comes to fire alarms. but we're going to be much more gentle with them when it comes to their burglar alarms. Commercial,
What section are you referring to? I was flipping through and trying to see what you were
It's
talking about. 'Cause it was-
14-50, the penalty for violation, and it's also referenced on the page before. But what we want to be able to say to people is, you know what, you can have the first call go right to the police department, and even if it's a false alarm, it's not a big deal. Right, and they don't have to have the first call go, but they can. And especially if I'm on vacation, that's actually helpful.
So we have 3 false alarms in a consecutive 12-month period.
And, I mean, I don't want to speak for you, Chief, but I think we're
Is
saying.
that what we were trying to?
You know what, I didn't bring that in front of me because I knew it said final consideration, so if you don't mind, I'd rather get my eyes on it so I don't misspeak. Some of it is modeled after the state mandates what it has to be, so I'd have to look to make sure that that's not the difference between what they're mandating, what we're saying.
What we were doing, in addition to confirming that what the state law is and says, was simply putting it in our township format as well. So I don't think we had the ability to make substantial changes, but I also want to check my notes from last meeting of what we were, or 2 meetings ago, of what we were directed to do, and I don't have those notes right in front of me.
Yeah, I mean, I can get you tomorrow morning, I've got it right on my desk, so I'll take a look at it and I'll give you a call.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief, thanks, Alan.
All right, so after follow-up, we'll decide whether or not we're going forward with final consideration or not. All right, next we had the, chief, the parking of the motor carriers on our streets, that ordinance. That is, also final consideration,
Yeah.
and you want to explain that, or why we're doing that?
That one was pretty, I don't have it in front of me, but that was pretty clear cut. It was just a new delineation of a certain kind of vehicle that the state put in the vehicle code, and we were just adopting that into this ordinance. And it just gives us a little bit more, gives us another tool when residents complain that there are very large trucks parked on the street, they can't get around. It makes it difficult for public works when it has to do with trash pickup, snow removal. And we're just consistent with the law anyway. We're not reinventing anything here. And all we're saying is park those in your driveway, that's all.
Yeah, we were just adding some terms to that 13.17 section that were not included in the prior version years ago.
Okay, and that's an ordinance, so Alex, you'll take that as well?
Yes.
Thanks. Okay, next we have, on the police, hiring process.
Yeah, this is just something I wanted to keep council abreast on because, I mean, so much has gone into it on all of our parts. Council, civil service.
Okay, so I'll just check.
Thank you.
I feel like a waiter. Am I going to the right side?
I think you are, but it's been a long time since I've waitressed. I did it in college, but that was not good.
So you have, you can give that to Karen, I told her I'd give it to you. So, I know some of this might appear premature, but I wanted to explain what we're doing. We haven't even come to budget hearings yet, but I wanted council to see our efforts in the testing that we've done. I'll just give one of my here. I'd already explained how many people we got to take our tests and the recruiting that we had done and the changes that were made to the civil service regulations to attract a more diverse group. So I wanted to give council a chance to see, the list is going to be certified this Thursday. And I wanted you to see, just from the first page alone, what our top 8 candidates, what a diverse group of people we have. And that wasn't a mistake. It was a lot of work over years between civil service, council approving things, and really going to great depths to recruit. Now, I guess the issue is that we haven't even had the budget hearings yet. Council has to make up their minds. They've got a lot of different moving parts. I understand that. What I wanted to suggest was considering a timeline should you agree with some of my proposals in the budget that is yet to come. You know that what I'm looking for, ideally, are additional people to be hired, and that's why we went to great lengths to get a diverse list here. I do have one opening coming up as soon as this test is certified. One of my sergeants retired already, so I have a vacancy. And what I want to do is I want to capitalize on the people that I have here. So what I would like to do, I'd like permission to hire the number 1 candidate in November, because I've got the vacancy already and the list will be certified.
And when's the sergeant retiring?
He already retired, so I'm already short that position. But again, I had to go through the process of getting our list together. What I want to be careful of is, and this is something that all the police departments face, is losing these good people because they don't just take our test, they take other tests also. So in this position I'm in, because we opened it up so much and because we changed what we're looking for in civil service, one of the things we did was we don't require Act 120, which is one of the reasons we got so much diversity. We didn't expect somebody to go put themselves through the academy. So I'm in a position now where my number 2 and my number 3 candidate don't have the police academy. And unfortunately, we designed all this so that we'd get these people, we'd have a list certified just in time for the academy so we wouldn't fear losing them. Well, unfortunately, the academy starts January 2nd, which doesn't give any department much time since your budget doesn't start till January 1st. So what I was hoping to do, and again, I understand it's if council, goes along with my proposal in the budget of additional people, that if you do in theory know that you're going to support that, I would be looking for number 2 and number 3 to be hired in December, because there's testing that they have to do to get into the academy, and that's the latest that I could do that. If, again, the council goes with my proposal of the 4 people I'm asking for, number 4 happens to be a Philadelphia police officer, also a diverse candidate. I have more time with him. Number 5, another good candidate, does not have the police academy. Those 2 I could push off until 2025, because number 4 I could still get, he doesn't have to go to the academy, and number 5 could go to Temple's Police Academy, which doesn't start until May. I don't have as great a fear of losing him. The reason I have a great fear of losing number 2 and number 3 is because number 2 is on the list for Tredyffrin, and they're asking her to withdraw her name from Plymouth because they don't want to lose her. She has family that is law enforcement in Montgomery County, and they've told her, you want to wait for Plymouth, which I think is terrific. We've got a great reputation, and she wants to. She doesn't want to take her name off, but if it comes down to it, I'm not going to tell her to give up a job that she knows she's going to get hired. Number 3 is under the same predicament. Upper Moreland wants to take him and put him in the academy in January. He doesn't want to remove his name either. He wants to come in here. So I'm in this predicament that we went to all this trouble to get good people, diverse people, and as always, you come upon these timelines, and I can't find another way around it. So, of course, I'm not looking for an answer now because I haven't even proposed a budget. I wanted to give you this information. I wanted to also supply you, and I'm leaving these for you, just up-to-date data of where we are right now, so you can understand when I ask for more people, why I'm asking for that. I don't want to bring it up at the a public budget meeting. But you can see some of the numbers, especially if you look at some of the numbers from 2020. You're only talking 4 years ago. Things like arrests, where we more than doubled with the same amount of people. almost every category here. I talk about Part 1 and Part 2 offenses. That's essentially your crime rate. That's all the crime you have. Part 1 is the serious crime, and Part 2 is the less serious crime. And if you look where our numbers are compared to 4 years ago, and still climbing, it's concerning. I just can't do what I need to do with what we have. I just wanted you to have this information. I'm always happy to answer any questions, but I just thought if you had this before I gave my budget proposal, you understand the context that I'm talking about. And again, it gives you a chance to ask questions, even if it's down the road, just to, appease your own, your mind. So that's all that I really wanted to talk about with the hiring process, just to let you know where we're at, what our timeline is, and what ultimately I'm trying to do.
And these candidates, as they're, are sort of in order of their rankings and all
This
the
is
testing and
in
everything.
the order. I took, since this was the public had come to this, I took names away, I took rankings away,
Sure.
but it is from left to right. 1 through 4 is on the top, 5 through 8 is on the bottom. Especially this first page, they're all good people. They all bring a lot more to offer. I mean, we're starting to represent the community that we serve. I'm excited about that. I mean, this was hard fought. I'm afraid we won't always get this. We had 475 people sign up for our test. The same day Lansdale had 30 people sign up for their test. So a lot goes into this. I'd love for us to capitalize on that, because you capitalize on that, and for the next quarter of a century or so, these people also attract more diverse people. We're using the people that we have here to attract more diversity. Nobody wants to be the first person to come out to the suburbs and say that, I don't like it, but it's been easier and easier. And you can see, you can see the difference. We've been very fortunate in that respect.
Chief, did you say the number one candidate did or did not need to go through the academy?
He did not. He's actually a Pennsylvania State Trooper already, so he's ready to go. It's ironic that of these 8 people here, 5 of them need to go to the academy. But we did that on purpose to attract people that couldn't afford to go to the academy. We didn't want to cut them out. So I hate to do that, say, come take our test, you don't need it, and then we don't take advantage of it.
And number 4 is already a Philadelphia police officer?
He's already a Philadelphia police officer, and the next one that's a police officer is Jennifer Smith, who's a SEPTA police officer. Everybody else, though, would need to go to the academy. Ideally, of course, we're only talking about the top 5 at this point, unless I have more people leave, which I do have people in drop and keep hemming and hawing, so there's the possibility, which would be great. I'd love to capitalize on all these people, but as of now, it's the 5 that I'm suggesting, 1 replacement and 4 additional.
And I'm sorry, Chief, can you say again, so there's the one person that has retired, and there's other potential retirements, we're not certain yet of dates?
I can't commit, yeah, and
No, it's fair.
without them committing. They're both in the drop program, and every day it seems like, I'm going, so I said, I'm not pressuring you. Whenever you know you're going, if you would let me know, it'd be helpful. If you don't let me know, that's okay too, so.
What's wrong about that? Should I go?
That's fair. And I wasn't pressuring you for an answer, I just wanted to make sure I understood.
I just can't count on them for that. But if they go within the next year and some of these people are still available, that'd be terrific. I just know that my top people will not be available because, usually when you're at the top of somebody's list, you're at the top of other people's list. And at some point, they have to make a hard decision. I know that I can start here as opposed to maybe, or it's not good enough, So.
Question for you. Are we also looking into hiring somebody like non-uniform, like a social worker or something like that?
We are. I've actually.
I don't mean that to meaning
No.
hire less. I'm more thinking about the unhoused data going way up.
Yeah.
Being
I
on the
actually,
rise.
we have been in talks with Merikee is their name. We've talked with Lansdale, who does the program. I've just found that it's a kink right now, and I'm trying to work it out because we're trying to get a grant also. But the kink is that Lansdale got a part-time person from Merikee, and they're paying about $60,000. They had a grant to cover it. The grant's over. They liked it so much, they're going to do that. When I tried to contract for the same thing with Marikey, they said, well, we just happened to have a part-time employee at that time. We don't anymore. You have to take a full-time person. And they put in their quote, they're charging me for how much they put into their pension and their benefits. It's $100,000. So I'm looking to see if there's other places that do the same thing. I'm confident we're going to find something. But it's been such a success that I absolutely want to use that, because that's been an issue, and I can actually get solutions. We go out there and we help those people as best we can, but we're going out there every day and helping the same people. So clearly they're not being helped, not sufficiently. But these social workers have been able to take those people and find them, placement, have been able to find them, food kitchens, anything that they need, jobs. And that's why Lansdale said, even though we don't have a grant, we're going to start paying for this because it's been so successful. So that's absolutely something that we're looking into. I have it as part of my budget proposal, and we already put in for a grant to see if we can. In fact, I should find out before my budget proposal whether we got accepted for that grant.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Is Lansdale looking to have a full-time person, non-uniformed? Is that what they're going to go for?
I don't know if they're going to have to, since that person was only part-time at the time. I asked my lieutenant who's working tonight to call their lieutenant to find out more particulars about how they're going to do that. I mean, even though $100,000 is a lot, I'd hate to lose the opportunity. I had budgeted $80,000 for another $20,000. They really seem to be doing good, and I think that's a real issue in Plymouth. It is, and it's going to continue to be, and it's going to continue to grow. As you see, that's a 470% increase in 4 years. It's not going to get better. And I hate to say it, but our neighbor, Norristown, who has a lot, is pushing their problem out of Norristown, which is no way to deal with people. So it even makes it increase that much more. So somebody's got it. You can't just keep pushing them away. I think Lansdale has changed their way. Pottstown has changed their way. And this gives us an opportunity to start showing the county that we also can accommodate everybody. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm not going to go too long.
No. We kept asking questions, so thank you. Is that something that stays on the agenda here?
Is there something?
No, I think
Okay.
No, it's not an action item, so it's just something for us to keep in mind when budget meetings begin. So the Plymouth Fire Company loan agreement. Someone's here from Plymouth.
Yeah, Carmen falls here.
But what about Plymouth? Is someone here from Plymouth? Come on in, take a seat. You can sit, you can stand, whatever makes you comfortable. Next on our list is the Plymouth Fire Company loan agreement. On our agenda next. All I could see was John out there, and I couldn't tell him. Do we have paperwork for
what?
Plymouth Fire Company?
Yeah, I don't think.
What's anything from Plymouth? No? So we're moving on to Harmonville. Great. So we're looking at there's no information in here.
I was not.
Well, there is, but I mean.
There is.
In terms of the summary. We're looking at I think we had a presentation last month about the Plan A and Plan B, and the projected cost, and an additional loan agreement. So we've had a chance to take a look at this and people's feelings about, it costs more, always does. than you think, and Plan B is the greater plan, right?
A is the less plan. Plan A is to do
Okay.
both, yeah, everything, both floors. Plan B is just to do the one floor with another outfit 10, 15 years down the line once, money becomes available.
Okay, and so Collinville is looking for an additional loan agreement like we had before. And I guess the question is, if the loan repayment comes out of the allocations that we have, does that leave you guys with enough money to keep?
I mean, as always, it's going to be tight, but our financial advisors believe that we are absolutely good, and we're actually good above that number, so they feel comfortable with increasing the debt payback to that $99,999 per year.
Okay,
We feel comfortable, very comfortable with that.
and you just want to make sure you can keep the lights on.
So it's always a thing to worry about, but no, we were very good.
Seriously.
No, and we've developed a very good portfolio over the last 25, 35 years to be able to be in this stance, to be able to do this. So it's nothing that we took lightly. We sat down multiple times to discuss this plan, and then, we know that we are financially stable enough to be able to do what we pitched to you guys for that repayment plan.
And so in Plan B, which is the lesser plan, would there even be a second floor built?
No.
So it would just be a one-story, and then you'd have to come back and retrofit another.
Correct. Right, and remember I said that gives us no living space for the volunteers to sleep at nighttime. The stipend crew that we have built in to, have manning the station with 4 people every single night to be able to have a better response for fire emergencies in the township. That would give them no area to do that. So Plan B is not ideal whatsoever, but it's going to be Plan B if we're not able to fully finance it with the increase that we asked for.
Thoughts?
One more point is that it's probably going to be more expensive too.
Yeah,
Costs are gonna be
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and if we, like Danny just said, it's another 4%. If we wait, even to next year, it's going to be another 4%. It's just things are drastically way more than I think anybody really thought. And we were able to secure that $2 million redevelopment grant through the state. We were able to get an additional $200,000 in state grant funding, and that's great, but it's not enough, right? We thought that was going to be enough. Right. I think everybody thought that when we originally started the plan, and then we had these conceptual ideas. And, when you finally get hard numbers of what you need compared to what you want, and we even cut out, we had we could have built this station 3 floors for our one, but we really scaled that back to what we need and what we're going to need for that next 30 to 50 years, because that's the plan for the station, is the next 30 to 50. It's not what's going to get us the next 2-3 years. As I've told you guys multiple times, the fire service in this entire area, the state, the country, is changing with the decrease in volunteers. So our idea is to build this for what the future is going to need in this township for fire emergency services.
I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I agree.
Any of you have additional questions or
I'm just wondering, Janet,
concerns?
is the 5.5, is that sort of locked in? If you got the additional loan and you were able to get going as you hope to, is this a firm number now?
That's a hard number as of right now.
It's not we waited a few weeks, so now it's.
Nope, we are good as of right now, but again, 2025 comes, then we're going to go look at an increase again, so.
Okay. So, Alex, do we have to do some formal kind of voting?
If council is inclined, I believe we'll need to amend the prior agreement that was approved by you guys that you needed for one of the grants, I believe.
It's the match for the RCAP, it's the 50% match.
So we would need to go ahead and amend the agreement that previously was provided and reviewed by you guys. But, if council's inclined, we can go ahead, and I just asked Whisper to Kellen if you can get me those numbers.
Okay.
And what the schedule will be like, so we can update that agreement.
And then once the agreement is in place and meets Harmonsville,
Then it will be voted on at a.
needs John's
council meeting.
approval. Can't say Harmonville, what's wrong with it? And then we'll have to vote at that time.
Yes,
to
and that'll
adopt
be an
the
action item. There's no action necessary for just directing me to draft it.
Okay.
You're not officially committed until you approve it.
And Kellen, is there anything else we should know? I mean, as we're having this conversation, just from a financial perspective?
I think for the most part, we're expecting the 2 million RACP grant, right? And I think it would just be an extra, if we're going to go through with it, it would be another 3.5 million for us to contribute.
Rather than the 2 million initially.
Not, so 3.5 is the total, not another 3.5, right?
Total, yeah, that'd be the total, yeah.
Okay. I thought you just said an additional 3.5, and I was like, oh, wait.
Oh, yeah.
Hang on a second.
Additional 1.5, I think.
Okay,
Additional 1.5, 3.5 and all.
3.5,
Yep.
yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Plan
We're ecstatic. And like I said, it's what it's going to really be needing for these guys, to make everybody happy, to keep that volunteer service thriving, because if not, that's going to be a big burden if that day ever comes, so. Let's hope we don't.
Providing fire service to the community is an essential function of the township. We have to do this. I mean,
We appreciate what you do, and it seems like a shame to do a project halfway at this point, so, yeah. And to concede the one thing you were really hopeful for, which is some living and sleeping space.
Yep.
and showering and all of that. I mean, when you come back.
Yeah, I mean, the guys that are there for the nighttime, they got to get up and go to work like anybody else does. So, we need to be able to provide them the means to do so.
Well, thank you for coming again tonight, and again, we always appreciate all y'all's service, really, seriously. Yes, sir.
Just one question. If this were to be approved, this would be at next Monday's meeting for you guys? Or what is the process for timeline? We have a timeline for our builder and put things out to bid. We want to make sure that's aligned with if this were to be approved.
When's Karen back? I want to make sure that she has a chance to put eyes on it to make sure.
Monday.
What?
Probably not till
I
Monday.
think it would probably have to be next month. It would be on your agenda.
I don't think she's got a flight out till Friday.
She had told us, I guess at the last meeting, that if it was approved tonight, you guys could put it on for approval for October. But, yeah, that's obviously totally up to however you guys
No,
think it
we
needs
have
to
our
be.
meeting on Tuesday, not Monday next week. So I guess we could.
Yeah, it'll be Tuesday of
next week, and if you can get the details to me, we can have Pat amend it.
I guess you can call Karen. It's at the Tampa International Airport.
Good luck.
Awaiting her.
Everybody's trying to get out of there.
Her flight was canceled. Category 5 hurricane coming in. She has a front row seat.
Yeah, as long as someone can send me the details of what needs to get amended, we can get it done.
The reason we asked is just that we have a timeline that we're trying to meet for December, January to go out to bid. We need to finalize, what are we doing? Are we doing second floor, first floor? So as soon as we get that answer, we can proceed with our team, our architects, and our internal stakeholders. So thank
We'll
you.
try our best to have it ready to go next Tuesday. We're not meeting on Monday, we're meeting on Tuesday of next week.
So, thank you.
Thank you all very much.
We're going to get back to fire prevention. We have a big fire prevention expo at the mall tonight.
Oh, that's right.
So, we have a ton of people, which is great.
All right, go have fun with the
So we'll get
kids.
back to the community. So, thank you guys. Have a good week.
John. Anything tonight from Public Works, Sewer?
We have nothing.
You have nothing.
Just leaf collection on Monday. We start, believe it or not.
Wow.
I don't collect leaves. I let them stay. But then I don't have a close by neighbor to complain. Oh, yeah, I do, the Harriet Weatherall Park.
We don't collect leaves either.
Yeah, let the wind blow it to the fence line is my. All right, engineering. We have final consideration of adopting a lighting ordinance. I think is a, kind of like a model lighting ordinance or something like?
Yeah, it's a revision to the existing ordinance due to updates in technology and as a,
Yeah, I'm happy to read it, and I think Karen shared this a few months ago. It's just going forward with an update that another municipality currently uses, and I think Lonnie's office and our lighting consultant likes the language in here and the ability to review this when they're doing the land development reviews. So it does, as you always say, it creates more of a standard, so.
You know me well now. Thank you. So Alex, you
Yes.
guys will take that. Thank you. Okay, under subdivision and land development, our first action is, the first one, F?
Yep.
Nothing until, so that's the St. George Coptic Orthodox Church, that's you, Lynn?
That is me.
Okay. And under additionally approved, we have escrow release on the Black Horse Woods. Nick, that's your area. Okay. Code enforcement, I guess, doesn't have anything on the list tonight. See anything? Under zoning, we have a list of zoning hearings. Anyone in particular want to take those? Arm wrestle?
No.
Who's taking it? Aaron? Okay, thank you, Aaron. Okay. Okay, under Parks and Recreation, there are the upcoming events. I want to read that. I can take that then. And this amazing records disposition resolution, 103 boxes.
Yeah, we did some cleaning.
Good job, I think so.
Yeah.
All cleaning.
Yeah, we fell a little behind, I'll be honest. Trying to catch up, it got a little much. With some hoarding going on, I'm not gonna. Thank you.
All right, anyone?
It's a big help with that, so.
Okay, Lynn will take
I
that
had a
one.
question about the language here. It authorizes the disposition of the following public records. I read that and I was like, I don't know. Anybody else, the way that that's written, kind of sounds like I don't know what's happening to the records.
Oh, meaning destruction.
Yeah, I feel like that means.
Why do we use that word?
They're being destroyed or?
They're going to be destroyed. I think I'm going to assume that this was a sample that from the municipal records manual, which is a very old document. It still talks about microfiche rather than technology. So I'm probably, it's a choice of language from the 70s of why it's there, but it does lay out the procedure of how to go about getting certain documents, and it also provides what, for example, permits you need to have permanently and what land development plans you need to always keep versus what can be destroyed within a month, what you don't need to save at all, and what can be destroyed in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. So this is the process to go ahead and get rid of miscellaneous items like of the 103 boxes.
So does Act 428 of 1968, does that set forth the disposition protocol?
I would assume so.
We could check Encyclopedia Britannica for whether or not that's true.
It's probably on microfiche now.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Lynn said she'd take that one. Okay, under planning and development, the Ridge Pike Improvement Project, there's a memo from a resident, Morgan, regarding, is this just kind of silly? Yeah, southern side. Okay, so this is, is it both sides of the road that she's referring to?
Lonnie, do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what she's referring to, I don't.
Okay, so what we have is on the Ridge Pike Improvement Project, the part that's, well, all of it, but including the part that's going through Plymouth Township, is providing sidewalks on either side of Ridge Pike. And there is a section on Ridge Pike that does not have sidewalks. One of them is 200 feet in front of the Toyota dealership, that's the northern side. And on the southern side, there's a span of 1,000 feet between Chemical Road and the Burger King. And the county had not included sidewalks in that project, which is something that is decades old with the parameters of that project. So apparently Plymouth Township has the ability to require property owners to install sidewalks. And this resident would like to have sidewalks on either side of Ridge in that area from Chemical Road going down. A short bit at the Toyota dealership and then a much longer 1,000 feet in front of some of those businesses, so. For pedestrian connectivity. This would be something that I understand, but I don't know definitively, Alex, that we can require that. A business build that at their expense.
So I think one of the things that we were looking at with the sidewalk ordinance is what we're going to be doing in the future. I'm not sure on the Ridge Pike project and the accuracy of the statement. If Lonnie, if you're aware, this is the first time I'm looking at this or receiving this email.
Yeah, I understand that, in fact, the county has not discussed this with the township previously, although the memo says it has not. So this is coming to us. I guess the sidewalk committee is looking at.
I mean, the township could spend money itself, but I'm assuming that's not what we're discussing. We're talking about mandating property owners doing it.
Yeah.
The sidewalk committee was looking at residential neighborhoods.
Right.
I'll be honest, like even some of the things that we discussed at the town hall that we had this past month, like one of the big things that came in was like, we always talk about sidewalks to nowhere being like those little patches of sidewalk to put something in. It's like, oh yeah, what does it connect to? But even then, putting in a sidewalk, who's gonna use it and is really gonna be walking around at these places? Like my grandmother was right by that Burger King. She was on Colwell. She's not walking to that development out there. Like even if there were sidewalks connecting up and down Ridge Pike, like I don't see why they need, or where they would even go, because so much of the gradient there.
Yeah, I think that's why they weren't included in the first place, because they might have been technically infeasible to build.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking specifically around Toyota too.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I think I'd want to know if what they're saying in this email is
Yeah.
correct before making
Yeah.
a decision on it.
Because it's a memo from a resident, so I don't know.
Well, you already said that one thing they said is not true.
Correct, that
Matt
this
Edmonds
has
spoke
not been
about.
discussed with the township.
I don't know how much is true, and then like whether or not the reason why they didn't put in a sidewalk
I
was
mean, I
because
asked Karen about that,
technical
and she said no.
specifications. But just to push back a little bit on what you said, I've spoken to two people in my ward that both want sidewalk there, because there are people that want to walk up and down Ridge, go all the way to like IKEA, or it's IKEA, right? Thinking Ridge, yeah. They want to go all the way over there to Aldi and stuff like that. So I've had two people.
Want to walk there?
Yeah.
Across that bridge?
So that would be on the Burger King side? They want to bring back their IKEA bookcase?
So this is from Chemical Road to Burger King, they want to walk from, I think it's Caldwell is the woman.
Oh.
She wanted to walk
Yeah.
Caldwell down to.
That big 5.
She said she does it, yeah, or she's been trying to do it, and I was like.
Oh, but they're not,
That's
that side I think is already taken care of, right? I mean,
I'd
it's-
sooner go like the back way.
Yeah.
this is the other way on Chemical. This is from Caldwell
True, I
down to Butler, I guess, you know.
But the
Shoot,
point is
shoot.
well taken that maybe there are people who are walking that. Like
Right.
if they're walking, they might want to as easily walk up to Burger King as they do walk down to Albany. I might suggest we do two things. Maybe we should all go take a look at it and know what we're dealing with.
Yeah,
And see,
And
There is a slope there. I don't know how steep it is and whether or not there's a problem there.
and
Ryan,
then
will
take
you
a look
like
at what
confirm
we
from
can
the plan?
require. I mean, you know, I don't know how many people would use it, but it's not a sidewalk to nowhere, right? I
No,
mean,
it's the opposite.
It's a commercial district,
Yeah.
and there are
Next
patches of sidewalks.
right, exactly.
But is it gonna
Yeah.
You have to get,
But I can't
Connect-
picture it in my
Why
head,
it
like
would
I
not-
can't
it
picture
potentially
exactly
was
where
not
the
included.
sidewalks are, so I don't really
Yeah,
know
where
what
they
to
start.
talk
Yeah.
about,
Yes, the
yeah.
county shares with you.
maybe we look at it and maybe we also find out more about like
Yeah.
this whole comment, the overall project has a stated goal of providing sidewalks from Norristown to Philadelphia. Well, it'd kind of be a shame if that was true and this was the only patch that didn't have a sidewalk. Like maybe we really need to understand
Yeah.
what that connectivity goal is between Norristown and Philadelphia and see if this seems to help or maybe this is.
I think these plans were thought of and put on paper a long time ago. I don't know that sidewalk connectivity was a big part of the goal of the plan.
Okay.
I think it was mostly road improvement projects.
Okay, so,
And that,
go ahead, Lonnie, I'm sorry.
that's my recollection of it 20 years ago.
So, do you know, Lonnie, are they planning?
I don't- I can't-
Sidewalks on.
I haven't looked at
all
those-
the, Blue Route?
I don't know. I haven't looked at those plans for 15 years. Yeah.
So what this person's talking about, though, is not getting to Aldi and IKEA. This is coming the other way, getting to, you know, Weiss Market Shopping Center and, you know, basically going from, she says Chemical Road, but also Colwell's there, up to Butler. That's
I don't even think our office has the plans anymore. I don't know if the township still has, do you still have them? So we'd have to dig up the plans or have a meeting with Matt Edmonds maybe would be the best thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we'll just look into it before we
Yeah.
figure out like what.
We don't, I don't even, our office doesn't even have the plans anymore.
I know that they discussed, say, walkability before, and I know with all the curb cuts, they deemed it dangerous, you know, walking out there with all the, you know, all the driveway.
Because they reduced the amount of curb cuts in front of Conocelli.
Right.
I think the Conocelli lost 2 or 3 curb cuts along their frontage because they wanted a better traffic flow in and out of their properties.
You mean on the, you're talking about the Ridge Pike side, not
Yes.
the Chemical
On the
Road
Ridge Pike
side?
side, yeah. Yeah.
I
So
guess
maybe
we
that's,
could look at it
I
and-
don't know that they really wanted,
That was my recollection.
you know.
I guess those plans are probably online too, like with the the Montgomery County Planning Commission, would they, is that who has these
I
plans?
think they have a webpage for
They
this
do have a
project.
webpage
The
for
the
this
Ridge Pike
project,
Improvement
yeah.
Project?
Yes.
Maybe we can look at that
Yeah.
and see
Okay.
what the plans are for sidewalks. Are they gonna be sidewalks to nowhere, or is it in fact going to connect?
Yeah, is walkability really still a
Yeah.
goal or not?
I don't know if they're putting sidewalks over the Blue Route. Maybe they
I
are.
don't remember seeing anything about walkability.
Right. That's my recollection.
Yeah, that's mine. So, we'll look at it, and we can get back to it as to whether or not. All right, we have the citizen board vacancy announcements. Kristen, okay?
Sounds so excited.
Oh, yeah.
Your voice goes down. Then an announcement of our Veterans Day celebration at the Devotion Monument at the corner of Germantown and Walton.
Just bundle those two together? If we did a bundle,
Yeah.
just the two. Okay.
Yeah, Kristen, you want to do all of those?
Yeah, I was gonna
The
say, I could
Citizen
just do
Board,
them
Veterans
all.
Day,
Yeah.
holiday tree lighting, which is also up in the same place, so Kristen will take all of those. And- Okay. Anything else from Parks and Recreation, Phil?
Nope.
Okay. Anybody else? Yes, Chief?
I apologize if it got past me, but I'm not sure if I got an answer on the number one candidate to fill the sergeant that retired. I had asked for next month. I just wanted to know whether I should contact him.
This is replacing an
I
existing
feel like we-
officer.
Retired, I think in June or July. He's gone already.
Number one officer is a candidate, is a state trooper who only has the academy and
Yes.
wants to come off the turnpike and onto Germantown Pike.
Yeah.
All right, everyone in agreement with taking our number one candidate?
Definitely.
Thank you.
Go for it, Chief, thank you, I'm sorry.
No, I
didn't do that, thanks for catching
had a
us.
whole speech, I forgot.
All right, thank you all for coming tonight, I appreciate it.